Hello, everyone, and welcome back. My name is Bryn. I'm the lifestyle editor here at the Northern Star.
My name is Sarah, and I'm the managing editor here. And welcome back to The Trend, a Northern Star pop culture podcast.
So what we do here on The Trend is we talk about a few trending pop culture topics, and then at the end, we rank them, say whether they're in or out, and rank them worst to best.
Yes.
But this episode's going to be a little more serious.
Yeah, a little bit heavier.
Because our topics are all involving crime. And
illegal stuff.
Crime that has been popularized and memed on the internet.
Yes.
Which, is that ethical? We'll get into it.
Yes, we will.
So, the first thing on the agenda is the new Ryan Murphy show, Monsters.
Yes.
Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story.
Came out on Netflix just recently, right?
Yeah, it came out on September 19th.
Oh!
And it's created by Ryan Murphy. And the premise of the show is it is based off of a real-life case. So these are real people whose story is being portrayed.
Mm-hmm.
So Lyle and Eric Menendez, in 1989, they murdered their parents and were found guilty of that and have been in prison since.
Yes.
But the ethics of them killing their parents is something that's
constantly being debated even today.
Yeah, because their parents were heavily abusive.
Yes.
So it was they were not good people. So then some argue it's self-defense. Others, might say it's deserved. But yeah, people, although they are killers, in the view of society, they have not been viewed necessarily as villains or evil people.
Yeah. And everything, there have been a crap ton of things that have come out on the Menendez case because it was so popularized in the 80s. It's one that, practically everyone in America knows about. Or if you don't know the case, like Bren, you don't know the case, you're familiar with the names. And there's been documentaries that have come out, docuseries. But this show is different because isn't it kind of framed like a docuseries? Not really, where it's showing the timeline.
Yeah,
and the story, but they actually casted actors.
Yeah, it's not like a documentary where it's here are the facts, here is what happened.
And someone's talking to you.
Crime drama. So Ryan Murphy, he's a pretty popular TV show creator.
Mm-hmm.
He created Glee, which is you're about to hear the rest
Range.
of this, which is the outlier on this list. But also American Horror Story is what he's most known for. American Horror Story. And then he also created the show that just came out about Jeffrey Dahmer. What was it called? The one with Evan Peters?
I'm sure it was just called Dahmer. I think it was just called Dahmer. Or Jeffrey. So he...
Oh, wait. Okay. It's the same show. I did not realize that until now.
What?
The show is called Monster. Season 1 is Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. Well, it's Dahmer, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story.
Oh.
And then season 2 is Monster, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story. So it's an anthology series.
Right.
Each one focusing on a different real-life murder.
Okay. Oh, my God. Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
So he is familiar with this genre.
Yeah, but even within American Horror Story, Ryan Murphy included real-life serial killers in it, who are based off of real people. And it's just turning a real-life story, a real-life criminal story, into a TV show is something that happens kind of frequently.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't think it should because in the majority of the cases, they do not have the consent of the people actually involved in it. And it's this... You're turning it into entertainment. Yeah. And this is not entertainment. This is real trauma and real pain that have been inflicted on real people. And it's now you're going to capitalize off of that. And it's Ryan Murphy is making banks. The Lyle and Eric Menendez, they're not benefiting heavily from this.
No.
He's using their story in their trauma to make a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like, I was kind of against the Dahmer show.
Oh, me too.
The difference with the Dahmer show is, luckily, like, I don't think it glorified him at all. But
no.
The one criticism people had on it is, like, some of Jeffrey Dahmer's victims' family members are still alive.
Yeah.
So it's like the family members have to go on Netflix and see, like, a situation that, like, was so significant and so damaging to them being portrayed by, like, actors on a screen.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I understand more. There's been lots of stuff about Jeffrey Dahmer, and, like, he is always, like, used as a killer. And he's more of, like, everyone knows who he is.
Yeah. But they were more like documentaries.
Yeah. But I know there was the movie My Friend Dahmer with Ross Lynch. But it was, like, him, like, in his youth. Which is, like, that's messed up because it's, like, you should not be glorifying that, you know?
Yeah.
And it's, like, I don't know. I didn't watch the movie, so I can't speak too much on it. But a huge difference, though, between the season 1 of Monster Dahmer and season 2, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story, is Eric and Lyle Menendez are very much alive.
Yeah.
And they are currently in prison. So it's like their trauma is now being rehashed for the entire world to see.
Right.
And depicted in
a very biased
detail.
way.
Yeah, and not even accurate detail. Like, obviously, the show isn't completely accurate.
Yeah.
And, like, people are going to see the show and be like, oh, that the way that the character is how they are in real life. But I know that people were saying, like, that, like, the personality of the brothers didn't necessarily match, like, how their real personalities were. Like, that's what the people who actually knew them were saying. But it's like, these are real life people who are still alive, and you're going to capitalize off their lives, where it's like Jeffrey Dahmer, it's like he's dead, it's not affecting him. But in a way, though, it's like it's giving him a legacy. It's almost like a platform in a way. Like,
yeah, that's a good way to describe
he didn't kill people for fame, but it's like the fact that he did a horrible act and now he gets an entire TV show based on him. Like,
it sounds very immoral.
I just think it's very icky.
It is. And that makes sense that he created the Dahmer series because I remember when that came out, I didn't watch it. I didn't want to watch it. Everybody thought it was wrong because, and also the family members of victims, do you remember that it came out that every single one, like, didn't even know that this show was coming out. So Ryan Murphy didn't reach out. Ryan Murphy didn't warn them. He didn't ask them, hey, can I include your daughter, son, brother, sister in this show? Yeah. And so it's the same thing here. It came out that Ryan Murphy didn't even reach out to the Menendez brothers or their lawyer, if they still have the same one from 89. So super, super icky. I'm not a fan of it. I think I'm reading this article, and the title of this article is Ryan Murphy Set to Be Even More Insufferable as Menendez brothers get new evidence hearing, which is true. It just came out today that there's going to be another hearing because new evidence came up, but I don't like these type of shows.
Yeah. I guess that is, like, a way that you could argue that the show is positive, is it's people... Now, the general consensus is that they are not evil. Like, they're not villains. That
I think
they were victims. And it's like this, I guess, one positive thing is, like, this show is putting back attention on the case.
That's true.
Making the public care about it a lot and giving them a greater chance of being freed from prison. So I guess you could say, like, in that way he's helping them, but, like, they didn't want this show to be created.
No, oh, no. I know they didn't. And same with the Dahmer show. I know nobody else wanted it created. And it's just, these two cases are just so still fresh in people's minds. There's still people alive that are traumatized from it.
Yeah.
If you, like, made a show like this that was about Bonnie and Clyde or Jack the Ripper, that would have been super interesting because that was a long time ago. But... yeah, I wonder if the Menendez brothers will, like, make a statement about it, like, release a statement and how they feel. Because I know they don't feel good about it. I wouldn't. And
also, like, the concept of seeing someone, like, an actor, not only talk about your trauma and act out your trauma,
it's horrible.
But pretend to be you. Like someone just playing you on screen without your consent is so weird. Like, imagine that. Like, all of a sudden a movie comes out and there's a character that's supposed to be you. And it's like, now everyone thinks you're that way in real life. It's like, that's such a crazy, like,
I know.
icky concept. Like, I could not imagine, like, not even relating to murder, just like in general.
In general, yeah.
If for some reason I have a notable life and then they make a movie about me and it feels like everyone's like talking about you and it's not even you, like,
right?
That just makes me sick. Like, I would hate for that to happen.
Oh, I know. I hate these shows. I'm not really into like crime, drama, murder like this.
Yeah.
Because it just gives me a super sick feeling. And if you like this stuff, like genuinely like watching these type of shows, something might be wrong with you.
Yeah. No, and I know all the people who watched Dahmer said that it was like a really good show, but they said like it was a hard watch. Like, it was very disturbing.
Yeah. I imagine. But yeah, upon just hearing the title of this season 2 Monsters, you already know where Ryan Murphy's going with the story and how he's depicting them.
Yeah, but how it kind of relates to like the trend of it all is one of the actors in it, Nicholas Alexander Chavez. He hasn't been like known for anything.
Yeah.
But like, this is his big like breakout role.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he was only in one other show that came out this year that I've never heard of, and then one movie. Like, so he's not a household name at all.
Mm-mm.
But he's blown up for the show, and people love him. And so that's another thing, is I have seen so many edits. Like, every single video on my For You page was, like, an edit of this guy, Nicholas Chavez.
Yeah.
Which is controversial because I have seen some edits that are, like, just him, like the actor himself. And I've also seen ones that are his character from the other show he was in. It's called Grotesquerie.
Oh, okay.
But he plays like a priest in it. So I've seen edits of that character. But the majority of them are him as Lyle Menendez, so it's hard to kind of draw the line, like, are they editing Lyle Menendez or are they editing the actor? Which, again, raises ethical concerns. But I do feel like, at least with the edits, I feel like they're editing him in the show because that is the content of him that is available. Like, those are the video clips.
Yeah.
But the comments, not the comments, like the captions and everything, and yeah, even the comments, they're not saying like, oh, that one Lyle Menendez edit. They don't say like, oh, Lyle Menendez edit. They say Nicholas Chavez edit. So I feel like that's better because I feel like people aren't editing the character as much, but I mean, they still are because it's clips from the show where he's portraying this character. Yeah. But they're trying to focus it more on the actor.
And they're always like sexy edits too.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, it's 100% like him just like looking hot. And there's like this one edit I keep seeing that has like over like 2 million likes. And then it has like over 20 million views, and like people are like obsessed with this one edit. There's always like the edit. Like, you know, like the Timothy Chalamet Playdate edit back in the day.
Steve Harrington, that Pedro Pascal edit.
I feel like this is in the books now. Like, it's alongside them. So, yeah, but then it's like, I think it's fine to edit the actor, and obviously he's a hottie. But, like, it's still weird because he's portraying a real-life person.
Yeah, it's, I don't understand. I've seen all those edits, too, and I've hit not interested in all of them.
What?
But, yes, because the comments are always like, why are we editing this show?
Oh,
and that was how I found out about the show. And then Twitter took over. But
yeah, I'm sorry. I like them all because I'm against the show, but I think he's a hottie. So.
That's fair.
Yeah, and then our next topic is also a
murder.
Yeah, it's also about a murder. And it's Mr. Prada.
Now, Mr. Prada is a TikTok content creator. He's not an influencer. He's a content creator. He's been around for a few years. He rose to fame. Time blurs together. So I think he rose to fame well over a year ago. Mm-hmm. And his whole thing was, like, he would, like, quote-unquote steal, not in a bad way, but, like, in a good, funny way, people's videos and then make them as their own. Mm-hmm. And then other people would be like, when I go on my For You page and see Mr. Prada stole my video, or, like, dance or whatever. And so that was what he was known for.
Yeah, so he was a comedy content creator, right?
Yes, he was comedy. Yeah. Everyone liked him. And then it came out a few days ago that, or just the other day, that he got arrested in Dallas, Texas for allegedly murdering his therapist who lives in Louisiana. And he got arrested on the side of the highway. He, like, crashed his car off, and witnesses, like, called the police. And so now he is in jail for second-degree murder. And this is all very insane because this is somebody, like, we've seen on our screens for years, who we've laughed at. But it's also not surprising because there was a time, I remember last year, where Mr. Prada stopped making funny content videos and started making really sad, depressing videos, and then took a pause and came back to TikTok, and everyone was like, hey, are you okay, man? And so I was like, I knew he was going through something. Mm-hmm. I knew he had a therapist because I knew he struggled mentally, but this is insane.
Yeah.
Like, this is a whole new level of wow.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just, I think, like, just really shocking to people because, they knew him as this, like, funny content creator, and it's like, no, this person that, like, you thought you knew, which, like, obviously you don't know him, right? But, like, now he potentially committed this, like, horrible crime,
and he's only 20. He's my age.
Yeah,
he's your age too. Mm-hmm. That's insane. But yeah, his real name is, I might butcher his first name, is Terrion Thomas. He is from Louisiana, Baton Rouge, and the whole, like, alleged story, because this was all caught on, like, security cameras and from witnesses, was that at 11 p.m. Saturday, September 28th, I might keep calling him Mr. Prada because that's how I know him as. Mr. Prada was in his apartment. His therapist, whose name is Abraham something.
William Nicholas Abraham.
William Nicholas Abraham, so I'll call him William. William was seen entering his apartment at 11 p.m. alive, and then sometime a few hours later, Mr. Prada was seen, like, carrying a big tarp bag into his car. So then Mr. Prada drove from Baton Rouge, Louisiana to Dallas, Texas, and that's where they found the body off the highway. And then he was arrested because people tipped the police off and everything. Yeah. And when they found Mr. Prada, it was said that he resisted the police officer, but I don't think he was violent or anything. I think he was like, no.
Yeah.
I'm not coming with you. So it's crazy. It's still under investigation. The bulk is that, like, what we know so far is that he was arrested in Dallas for second-degree murder. I know they matched DNA from the crime scene to Mr. Prada, so the DNA matches. And the therapist allegedly suffered, like, blunt trauma, and there was a lot of blood on the apartment. They haven't released any photos yet to the public. At the time of recording this, there hasn't been anything else that has come out. But, yeah, this is insane.
Yeah, and I think it definitely speaks on, like, the parasocial relationships with the creators.
Exactly.
It's like you do not know who this person is,
right,
or you do not know what they are going through.
I know.
He was obviously in a really dark place.
Yeah.
And he was obviously wanting to seek help if he was trying to get therapy. But, like, that's why it's just, like, it's crazy. I feel like the public reaction has just been that it's so unexpected.
It's so unexpected, and you're right. You know, people, I think most, like, influencers and content creators in general kind of put on a facade when they turn the camera on, and so you really don't know who they are or what they're like.
Yeah.
But it's shocking because everyone knows Mr. Prada. Everyone loved him.
Yeah, like, I didn't recognize his name or anything, but and I can't, like, specifically tell you videos I've seen of his, but I recognized his face. Like, I'm like, I know I've seen this guy before.
I know. He's been on everyone's For You page. So, this is insane.
But I think that the public reaction to this has been good. Like, the social media thing has been good in the sense I have not seen, like, people joking about it.
No, I haven't
I've seen
either.
a lot of people talking about it, but they're talking about it is either sharing details, like, for informative reasons, or saying, I didn't expect this.
Yeah,
this is so shocking. So, like, I think that's good, at least, that people aren't, like, making light of the situation.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they should be doing. There's nothing to make light of, because it is so serious, and it just caught everyone off guard.
Yeah. But that brings us to our third topic, which is a super serious situation, but that people have been making light of. And that is P. Diddy.
Mr. Diddy. This is a whole thing.
Yeah, unless you live under a rock, I am sure that you have heard about it. But P. Diddy is a huge name in music.
Yeah.
Like, been referenced and stuff.
Making music for over a decade.
So, yeah, he's very famous, but he was arrested and charged with sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, transportation to engage in prostitution. So, just a bunch of gross crimes.
Horrible
that
things.
have real-life victims and a lot of people who have been directly negatively impacted by his gross behavior.
Yes. And this happened I think September 17th or the 18th, so a little while ago. And when he got arrested, it was huge because apparently, like, don't quote me on this, but my friends have been saying that police have been trying to catch Diddy since, like, March.
Dang.
So it's been a while, which is crazy how he's been hiding for so long. But he got arrested, and I've seen the footage in a public park. He was, like, chilling in a park. I think in either LA or somewhere in New York. But thank God he did. The streets are free. But it's horrible because one thing that came out of this was sex trafficking, prostitution, threatening his victims with weapons, guns, knives. That was all found in his house. But one thing that came out of it was baby oil. 1,000 bottles of baby oil was found. You all can guess what that was used for. I'm not going to say it. And people have been, this is the part that people have been joking about, which is horrible, is why is Diddy having 1,000 bottles?
Yeah, 1,000's
That's
an
crazy.
insane number.
And Diddy came out and said a statement and said, I bought him from Costco. I buy in bulk. That was literally his response, which if you're chuckling about it because it's like, oh my God, he's stupid, what the heck?
Yeah.
That's fair. But people are, like, making memes out of it.
Yeah, I feel like, to some extent, like, 1,000 bottles of baby oil is absurd. So it's like, I understand why people are making memes out of, like, that detail. But it is like, no, this is a person who directly traumatized countless people.
Yes.
And now you're going to, like, make jokes about it. Because there's so many jokes. And, like, I saw something that was like, oh, I bet there's going to be people dressing up, like, as P. Diddy for Halloween. Which, do not do that.
Please
that is
don't.
So gross. Don't do that.
It is gross.
But, like, I've seen, there's this one, like, Alvin and the Chipmunk clip.
I saw that.
That is, like, Alvin says, he's like, oh, I feel like P. Diddy with fur. Because this was back when he was just known as, like, a big music guy before all this stuff came out.
Yeah.
But it's, like, so people use that clip and then make, like, an Alvin and the Chipmunks edit. But it's, like, I don't know. I just think it's gross. It's, like,
sick feeling in my stomach.
Diddy is such a meme. Like, it's a whole meme. And it's, like, why is that a meme? You know?
Right?
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. The only thing I laughed about was that when Diddy said that he buys in bulk from Costco, Costco came back and, like, the CEO of Costco said, we don't even sell baby oil, which is funny because they really clapped back and was like, you are not going to lie on our name. But Yeah, it's horrible. It is. I hate like sexual assault cases and things. You know the P. Diddy list where it was revealed of like all the celebrities that came to his parties, and those people are like allegedly connected to these sex crimes, that they were a part of it.
Yeah, and at these parties, like they're literally referred to as like, people always say like, oh, Diddy parties, but like that's another meme, like, oh, at the Diddy party, or like just making jokes about the concept of Diddy parties. But it's like,
knowing what probably went on there is horrible.
Yeah, I think it's just like, I don't know, it kind of speaks on today's like culture that like,
our generation,
our immediate reaction is to be like, oh, this is just like a meme, it's not real. But it's like, you need to stop and think like, no, this is something real that happened to real people, and it's like, it's gross to joke about.
It is gross, and I think you are genuinely horrible if you're joking about it, because it's no place to.
All right, well, this is kind of a weird one to rank.
They're all out. And I don't want to rank which one's like worse than the other.
I was going to say, I was going to rank them not based on what it actually is, but how the public and social media has responded to it.
Oh, okay.
I'd say third is definitely P. Diddy, because, there's so many memes about it, and that's gross.
It is.
I'd say second is the Monster Show, because, again, it's gross, but at least it seems like, I mean, people are still editing the show, which is weird, but it's like, at least they're kind of trying to say, like, it's the actor, like, it's not whatever.
Yeah. And then Mr. Prada.
Yeah, because
all facts.
I feel like, I haven't really seen people joking about it. And also, Mr. Prada makes the most sense to talk about on social media, because he was a social media star.
Yes,
so it's like the fact that people are posting about, oh, this famous TikToker got arrested on TikTok, like, that makes sense. But I haven't seen, like, people, like, making, like, gross jokes. They're just like, oh, my God, it's crazy to happen. So, well, this was more of a serious episode, but moral of the story is, remember, crimes are crimes, and they have victims, and you shouldn't, while you can joke about stuff, not everything should be joked about.
No, definitely not. So, thank you all so much for listening or watching, if you're still tuning in on YouTube. We will see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.